Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Felix of Virtual Witchcraft and today marks an absolutely historical event, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. These are the final matches of League 7 Season 4 History of Magic. Over the past 4 months, 12 teams have battled it out across 2 divisions within the bins and the bag shots, coming together for the cross-divisionals and faced off over the past 2 weeks in order to bring themselves here. 4 teams remain, but only one can take home a historical win. 1 week ago, we saw the Avenging Angels versus the Order of the N.E.W.T.s. The Angels managing to come forward and best the N.E.W.T.s. The Horcrux Hunters versus the Avenging Angels thereafter, with the Horcrux Hunters having won. Now, the Wildcard Hagrids would face them off against the Hellfire Hogs, the Hogs coming out on top. Hellfire Hogs faced off against the Horcrux Hunters, and the Hogs won. Finally, bringing the Hellfire Hogs to face the Nimbus Nighthawks. But the Nimbus Nighthawks would shut them down. As of yesterday, we saw 2 fantastic matches play out. The Nimbus Nighthawks versus Velcro 2, with the Unicorns coming out on top. Dumbledore's Army versus Team Pumpkin Snatch, with Team Pumpkin Snatch managing to best their opponents. And now, today, we have 4 teams. Thin Ice, Team Pumpkin Snatch, Velcro 2, and the Chadley Cannons. We're going to be getting started here shortly with Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch. Currently, just waiting on the players to start entering into their match. I think we're in for an exciting day of Quidditch, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a fantastic N.E.W.T.s. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe us over here on Twitch, as well as follow us over at our Discord. You can find that through our link at league7.gg. From there, join our Discord, become a part of the community. If you don't know what any of this is, we happen to be a community of Quidditch players and Quidditch champions all over. But yes, so don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be getting in here shortly. Alright everyone, welcome back, welcome back. The players are currently loading into their positions and we will be starting here shortly. Today's match is between Thin Ice and Team Pumpkin Snatch. We are in for a duke 'em out, brawl style match today. It's going to be great. And unfortunately it looks like we're getting some bloody hells out the gate, of course. Players want to maintain the most consistent, even, and stable servers as possible, especially entering into these final matches. It is common within N.E.W.T.s, so if you are new to this, everyone, don't worry. Happens. We love this game, despite a few of its flaws. But yes, teams are currently regathering. They're going to take some time to kind of get back into their parties and matches. As you can see right now, we'll go over just some of what we're looking at here. Obviously, within Thin Ice, they have had a absolutely dominating season over the entirety of Season 4, but also have showcased their prowess over the past 2 seasons as well. Currently captained by Flyrish, you can see as they stood within N.E.W.T.s, they actually stand at, within OWLs, they actually stand as the #1 team within OWLs, earning their top bracket. Team Pumpkin Snatch also presents an incredible challenge, having dominated within their own division found a slight weakness within their cross-divisionals, but came back with a fury when it came down to the N.E.W.T.s semifinals, being able to best Dumbledore's army and retain their powerful spot on the top bracket. Right now, from their OWLs, they stood at 5th place, but, as I said, having bested Dumbledore's army yesterday, they now stand within a 4th place position, facing off against Velcro 2, Chadley Cannons, and Thin Ice within the top 3. Will they have what it takes to best the rest of them? Especially being one of the newer teams, though they are comprised of many old players from Crazy Comms and elsewhere. So, regardless of whatever they bring to the table, especially facing off against Thin Ice, with some of the previous Crazy Comm players having held them as long-term rivals, you know it's going to be fantastic. So from what Skinny is telling us, it was an EU ping server. Makes sense, makes sense. Thank you, Skinny, for keeping us updated. We want to make sure that everyone has the most stable game possible. Entering into N.E.W.T.s, no one wants to mess this up. So, looks like they are finding server again. We're going to see whether or not they are going to have a more stable server this time around. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between. We want to see Quidditch played at its best. So I do see some of the FPS server ping looks to be somewhat stable. Yep, looks like we are about to enter in. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin the first match of Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch. And they are off. Alright, it looks like Team Pumpkin Snatch currently in possession of the Quaffle. 21st Q, holding on to it, looking for an opening, trying to get downfield. Oof. But Thin Ice recovers the Quaffle, passing it on down to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby in possession. Takes the shot, 10 points on the board for Thin Ice. At 6 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock, there's still plenty of time for Team Pumpkin Snatch to return the favor. 21st Q in possession of the Quaffle. Passes it back to passes it back to the captain, Pumpkin Snatch. Pumpkin Snatch passes it on out. 21st Q back in possession of the Quaffle. Snitch at about half and half. Grooby goes for a defensive line. The shot misses, passes it back out to Grooby. Grooby passes it over to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby carrying it downfield, streaking past the defensive players. Currently looks like looking for an opening within Team Pumpkin Snatch's line. Takes the shot. Beautiful. 20 points on the board for Thin Ice, and the Snitch is at its last leg. We're going to switch on over to Alpha Tux to take a look at this Snitch game here. Presently, Tux is in the lead. The one bump could change it all. If Tux manages to capture this Snitch, that'll put 20 points on the board and make sure that this game brings to a tie. Tux closing in on Snitch, whips around. Meanwhile, the Chaser gameplay has swapped on over to a defensive line for the Seekers. Tux getting close, goes for a bump. Looks like they're open, but is over by enemy goals. A bump here could change it. Tux captures the Snitch. 20 points on the board. At 4 minutes, 59 seconds left on the clock, this is a tied game between Thin Ice and Team Pumpkin Snatch. What a match. Swapping back on over to Grooby. Grooby gets tackled. 21st Q in possession of the Quaffle. Looks for an opening, but Shintasu manages to regain possession. Thin Ice looking on over. Grooby with a one-timer pass on over to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby looking for an opening. Dake Blueby still looking for that opening. Nope. Now 21st Q in possession of the Quaffle. 21st Q passing it on back to home goal. Looks like Pumpkin is grabbing the Quaffle, sending it back out. Oh, but Grooby kicks it back. However, Pumpkin is quick to respond, passing it back on out. Neo in possession, but Groovy tackles. Passes it back on over to Dake Blueby. Looks like Blueby is taking it downfield whilst Groovy works on a defensive line. Takes the shot. 30 points. Thin Ice currently in the lead with just shy of 4 minutes left on the clock. Meanwhile, Seekers seem to be at approximately just under 2 fifths, encroaching on half of that snitch meter. 21st Q back in possession of the Quaffle, moving it down on field. What a beautiful snowy day for a shot. 21st Q puts it in, 10 points on the board, creating a 30-30 tied game. Thin Ice and Team Pumpkin Snatch have shown incredible prowess throughout their entire career and have now brought it in their A game to these N.E.W.T.s finals. Thin Ice in possession of the Quaffle. Never mind. Team Pumpkin Snatch now in possession of the Quaffle. Groovy working on defensive line. Goes around 21st Q. 21st Q takes the shot, but Yukio, a fantastic all-around player, manages to save that shot and sends it home. Groovy back in possession of the Quaffle. Meanwhile, the Snitch is getting closer and closer. It looks like they are currently holding on to that Quaffle to prevent any kind of kick from the keeper. Groovy now moving on towards defensive line on top of the Seeker, trying to hit N.E.W.T.s. They pass it on back to their defensive goals. N.E.W.T.s is closing in on the Snitch here. However, it looks as if Denji has actually taken a lead on this Snitch meter. One bump can change this. Denji gets the bump. Continuing on forward. N.E.W.T.s looking for an opening, trying to get a bump in there. Gets the bump, swings around goal, and captures the Snitch. That is 50 now. 50 for Team Pumpkin Snatch, 30 for Thin Ice. This is a neck and neck game. One more Snitch capture can bring this tie. If Thin Ice wants to stay in this, they are going to need to get one Snitch capture and one goal. This is fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. This is Quidditch. Looks like both teams are hesitant to move the Quaffle on downfield. Team Pumpkin Snatch wanting to maintain that lead, holding on to the Quaffle before sending it on out to try and get those keeper kicks. Meanwhile, Groovy Games with a fantastic one-timer manages to pass it on over to Shintasu. Shintasu is looking for an opening as they go towards enemy goals. Takes the shot, never mind, passes it to Dake Blueby and takes the shot. Beautiful goal, recovering that lead at 40-50. We are currently seeing the last minute and a half of this match. Seekers are just encroaching on the 50-50 percentile. Dake Blueby passing it on down to Shintasu. Dake Blueby takes the shot, getting past Pumpkin Snatch and sending the goal in. 50-50 tie game, 1 minute left on the clock. It's all going to come down to whether or not these Seekers can capture the Snitch. We've currently seen N.E.W.T.s capture both Snitches in this game. Will Denji respond, or will N.E.W.T.s continue here? Meanwhile, the Chaser gameplay is going to need to focus hard on getting this goal in. Team Pumpkin Snatch forfeits possession of the Quaffle to return over to the Snitch gameplay. It looks like we've completely abandoned Chaser game completely, moving the Quaffle on out. N.E.W.T.s currently in the lead on the Snitch, moving as fast as possible, weaving in and out of the enemy chasers. The keeper dodges a speeding bludger, looking for a bump, almost there, needs to capture this, captures the Snitch. That is 20 additional points put on the board. 15 seconds left in this match. It is going to be difficult for Thin Ice to respond. It looks like Team Pumpkin Snatch is going to have won this one. Absolutely amazing. Well done, Team Pumpkin Snatch. That is a first game having conceded itself on over to TPK. Well done. Well done. I am astonished. Absolutely beautiful. Now, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, that is going to bring us to the first round as a win for Team Pumpkin Snatch. I gotta say, what a shot. Now, this is going to be a best of 3 within this lineup. So, Thin Ice still has a chance to respond. Whether or not they do is going to be a question of if they can keep up this pressure. Moving into this second match, they're going to have to play a little more tactically, definitely play a little more, I'd say, defensively on that Seeker game. It's going to be difficult for them to respond, given Team Pumpkin Snatch's absolutely amazing pressure when it comes down to overall gameplay. Again, they're utilizing that crazy comms capabilities there, bringing them to their first win. Now, if they win this, they're going to see an advancement into the winner's bracket, and that is going to relegate Thin Ice down into the losing bracket to take on the losing team of Game 2. So, if TPK manages to, or PKS, excuse me, not TPK. If PKS manages to overcome Thin Ice in this next match, that is going to bump Thin Ice down. Currently just waiting on the players to get themselves lined up. It is going to be fantastic to behold. Ladies and gentlemen, members of chat, tell me, who do you anticipate is probably going to win this next match and move into the semifinals winners bracket? I want to hear your theories. I want to hear your I want to hear who you think is going to come out on top. Looks like chat is a bit at odds with who is going to who is the best player amongst all of them. Looks like there is one bet on Thin Ice. Even despite that match loss, they're still betting on a Thin Ice. I like to see that. Bold move, Extreme Butter. But, knowing Thin Ice, and especially knowing Flyrish and his team, I think it's possible. I think it's possible that they bring it home here. However, I know they're not going to get it for free. PKS is going to do everything in their power to see to it that this changes. Now, to match 2, currently seeing if the ping is going to hold. Looks like ping is going to be just fine, and we now have the perspective of Flyrish and N.E.W.T.s this time around. So we're in for some fun beater gameplay. And they are off. Ladies and gentlemen, the first match has started, and it looks as if Thin Ice is in possession and puts it in within the first 10 seconds. Groovy with a fantastic goal there. Beautiful shot. 10 points on the board. Thin Ice in the lead, taking that early lead as they are known to. However, if they wish to maintain their status on the winning bracket, they are going to have to maintain this forward. Pumpkin Snatch holding on to the Quaffle, waiting for a good opening. Sends it on out. Marsonley currently in possession of the Quaffle. Passes it on over to 21st Q. 21st Q puts it in. 10 points on the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch. Tied game. As I said, they are not going to simply let Thin Ice get this win. Thin Ice is going to need to keep fighting, and it looks as if Flyrish is looking for every opening to batter the Seeker, but almost at the cost of the Chaser gameplay. Meanwhile, 21st Q back in possession of the Quaffle, looking for a means to get into the enemy goal. Weaving around the pitch, actually holding on to it. Looks as if they're being more discerning about sending the Quaffle into the goal at this time, waiting for their Seekers to round out before entering in. Very decisive, very clever. Meanwhile, Flyrish coming in, taking a bludger away from what would have certainly hit Denji. And it looks like the Seeker race is closing in. Denji still in the lead on this snitch, but N.E.W.T.s looking for that means to close the gap. We'll swap on over to the Seeker position, with N.E.W.T.s currently weaving around their home goal. But still, Denji is in the lead there, and it looks like Flyrish is keeping up that strike. Oh, strikes N.E.W.T.s, knocking that meter back. And it looks as if that Seeker pressure we were discussing earlier is being applied here. Good playing Flyrish. But N.E.W.T.s still has the capabilities to overcome this. We have seen N.E.W.T.s overcome even the worst odds in the past, and takes that swing out there, captures the snitch. As I said, N.E.W.T.s has what it takes to get that done. 20 points added to the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch. That is 4 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Team Pumpkin Snatch currently in the lead. What a match. What a match. Pumpkin Snatch in possession of the Quaffle, sends it on out. Marsanli currently in possession of the Quaffle, loses possession, passes it back to Pumpkin Snatch, passes it on over to Neo. Neo streaking downfield, passes it over to 21st Q. As it is, they're holding onto the Quaffle again to make sure that their Seeker has a chance to get out of enemy territory. Now moving on in, sends it home, 40-10. Team Pumpkin Snatch in the lead, just shy of 4 minutes left. Currently, Groovy in possession of the Quaffle. Thin Ice looking to respond to these goals sent in on their side. Pass it on over to Dake Blueby. Blueby takes the shot, 20-40. Team Pumpkin Snatch still in the lead, but now Thin Ice is covering that gap. Only 20 points. That is 1 snitch catch or 2 chaser goals in order to cover that gap. Dake Blueby puts it in once more, 30-40. Again, shrinking Team Pumpkin Snatch's league. Looks like they are forcing it downfield. They are keeping it on the enemy side, and Flyrish is doing their best to keep this strong. Looks like another shot. Dake Blueby, an absolute menace on the pitch, scores 3 goals there. That is 40-40 tied game, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. The snitch is only at 50%. 21st Q in possession of the Quaffle. Flyers dodging a speeding bludger. Pumpkin Snatch in possession, sending it on out. Marsanli in possession of the Quaffle. Holding on to it, sending it back, sending it forward. 21st Q back in possession. Tosses it away. Looks like they're now focusing on the Seeker game. Seeker pressure is high. Pumpkin Snatch back in possession of the Quaffle again. It seems to just be going back and forth between these two players. We shall see. 21st Q again in possession of the Quaffle. Sends it on out, swapping on over to N.E.W.T.s view so that we can see this. N.E.W.T.s currently with a small lead on the snitch race. Ooh. Looks like Flyrish is taking some hits, but giving them right back. Will Flyrish be able to interfere with N.E.W.T.s stellar flying? Denji currently looking for an opening, looking for a bump, but it is on enemy side. Flyrish goes down, and N.E.W.T.s captures the snitch. That is 40-60. Team Pumpkin Snatch in the lead. 1 minute, 42 seconds left. There is plenty of time to score 2 chaser goals, but entering into overtime, will they have enough to take this? Flyrish maintaining pressure on top of the Seeker here. Looking as if they're looking for that late overtime win here. Flyrish trusting in their chaser game, and for good reason. Dake Blueby is proving to be a powerhouse behind the Quaffle game, putting another point on the board for Thin Ice. That is 50-60. We have just a minute left in this game. Pumpkin Snatch sending it out to 21st Q. Looks like they're going to be holding onto the Quaffle as much as they possibly can here, but Shintasu gains possession of the Quaffle, moving it downfield, looking for an opening, passes it to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby looking for a shot. Pumpkin Snatch stunned. Blueby looking for an opening. 30 seconds, or 38 seconds left on the clock. Blueby's flying around, waiting it out. Looks for a shot, sends it. This is a tied game. We are moving into 30 seconds left on the clock. There is just 50%, no, 75% on the Seeker game. It looks like Denji is currently in the lead. 20 seconds left on the clock, 60-60. This is tied. We may be looking at overtime, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a tough match, but the Seeker game is getting close. 10 seconds left. Oh! Take Blueby looking for a shot. Denji captures the snitch! 80-60, 3 seconds left on the clock. There is no way Team Pumpkin Snatch will be able to respond to this. That is a win for... That is a win for Thin Ice. I am out of breath, ladies and gentlemen. But what a match. Oh my goodness. Beautiful gameplay and a great recovery by way of Thin Ice there. Team Pumpkin Snatch just overwhelmed with those chaser goals. And that last second capture by Denji really securing for them that match win. I'm gonna take a brief breather here, everyone. Oh, goodness. These teams are not allowing me any seconds reprieve. Beautiful. Just beautiful to behold. Well done, Denji. Well done, Thin Ice. And well done, Team Pumpkin Snatch. We are going to be moving into a third game here. It is amazing. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen, as we enter into this last game within the first entry bracket? Who do you think is going to secure this? Still betting on TI. 6 from Dake is subpar. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it looks as if we are about to be entering on in here. Entering into the last match between Team Pumpkin Snatch and Thin Ice. It's all on the line. Whoever wins this will move on into the winning bracket, but whoever loses is going to find themselves relegated to the losing bracket and one step closer to a complete match loss, or to a complete N.E.W.T.s loss. Thin Ice currently in possession of the quaffle. Passes it on over to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby proving to be the scorer of this match. But Pumpkin Snatch, with a beautiful save, manages to keep that goal out. Maintaining the pressure on top of this. Looks like Flyers is looking for some hits on the Seeker in the early game. Trusting in their Chaser core to get those goals in. And for good reason. We saw in that last match that Dake Blueby managed to put the quaffle in the goal multiple times over. Shintasu also keeping up some beautiful defensive line play. Oh! Makoon knocks Flyish out, but Dake Blueby still scores. What a shot. What a knockout. Makoon responding with the brilliant bludger game, showcasing that even beaters are not immune to the heavy iron of the bludger. Team Pumpkin Snatch in possession of the quaffle. Looks like a loose quaffle now, sending it on out with nowhere to go. Keeping that quaffle away. In possession, 21st Q takes the shot. 10 points on the board. Team Pumpkin Snatch versus Thin Ice. They are a tied game with 5 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock. The Seekers are getting close, so let's swap on over there to N.E.W.T.s. Taking a look at this Seeker game. N.E.W.T.s currently in the lead. 5 minutes left on the clock. N.E.W.T.s takes a hit from that keeper kick, bringing Denji squeaking in closer. In fact, Denji taking a marginal lead. No, N.E.W.T.s is back in the lead, but it looks like there's pressure being applied here. N.E.W.T.s, oh, just dodges. Dake Blueby puts a point on the board for Thin Ice. That's 2010. And N.E.W.T.s responds with a beautiful capture there. That is 30 20 by way of Team Pumpkin Snatch in the league, and I am getting some waters, ladies and gentlemen. Please excuse me for a drink. Groovy in possession of the quaffle, passes it on over to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby looking for the shot, takes it, and 30-30 tied game once again. This is a back and forth match. No team is willing to concede to the other. Meanwhile, over on Snitch Game, they are just encroaching on approximately, I'd say about 10-15%. Pumpkin Snatch in possession of the quaffle, holding on to it whilst their Seekers round about the hoop, sends it on out. Denji managing to avoid any kind of hit there, but Flyrish takes a clonk. And it looks like Macoon is looking to take Flyrish out. For good reason, Flyrish has been an absolute menace to their seeking gameplay. Looks like we're getting a bloody hell from Pumpkin Snatch. Maybe an issue there. Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby puts it in. 40-30. What a shot. What a shot. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. And Thin Ice is currently in the lead by a marginal hair. The Seeker game is coming closer and closer, ladies and gentlemen. N.E.W.T.s is currently just shy of half health. Taking some hits here and there. 21st Q in possession of the quaffle. Looks to go downfield. Takes the shot. Manages to get it in. We are back at a tied game. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. It's all going to come down to the Seekers here as the Chasers are matched. N.E.W.T.s getting a beautiful hit there on Denji. Flyrish dodges a speeding bludger. Weaving around. Dake Blueby in possession. Are they going to score? Are they going to prove to be the menace that they are in the Chaser Core once again? Ooh, Flyrish gets a hit out on N.E.W.T.s, knocking them back just a bit on the snitch meter. Denji taking a marginal lead, but the pressure is on. Dake still in possession of the quaffle, looking for a shot on goal, being cautious to not put it in whilst their Seeker is rounding the enemy goal, but still shoots anyway. Dake Blueby puts it in. 50-40. Thin Ice currently in the lead. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock. Denji with a marginal lead on this snitch. N.E.W.T.s takes a hit, is stunned, knocked back further. Will that give Denji the necessary gap to close in on this snitch? And N.E.W.T.s is down. N.E.W.T.s taken out by Yukio, the Beast Keeper of Thin Ice. And Flyrish knocks Macoon down. That is an almost guaranteed capture for Denji. 70-40, 2 minutes left on the clock. There will be one more snitch capture if the Seekers play their best, and that is a 30-point lead. In order for Team Pumpkin Snatch to win this, they are going to have to put 2 quaffle goals in there or get this last snitch capture and move into overtime. No team is going to let the other simply take this win. Whoever wins this moves on to the winning bracket. Whoever loses this moves into the losing bracket. What a match. What a match. Flyrish maintaining that Seeker pressure. 21st Q in possession of the quaffle. Pumpkin Snatch looking for a means by which to squeak this win in. Neo in possession, passes it on over, sends it to 21st Q. But it looks as if 21st Q has conceded possession over to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby looking to secure this gap. Flyer sends a dram on over. Dake Blueby secures the goal. 80-40. What a shot. 50 seconds left in this match. Denji in the lead on the snitch. N.E.W.T.s taking hits. 21st Q in possession of the quaffle. Wanting to get past. Sends it. Doesn't get it in, sends it wide, and Yukio passing it on out. Dake Blueby now in possession of the quaffle. Ooh, Flyrish eliminates Neo, reducing the Chaser core and adding pressure. Dake Blueby sending it home. Looks like Denji is in the lead on this snitch. N.E.W.T.s looking for a way just to reduce that lead and secures it. 90-60. What a match with 19 seconds left on the board. Can Team Pumpkin Snatch return this with 30 points in the last 15 seconds? I don't think so. Especially as Yukio sends it on out. This is looking like game. This is looking as if Team Pumpkin Snatch must say goodbye to the winning bracket and enter into the losing core. But still, fantastic match. Team Pumpkin Snatch may have lost this round, but they are not out. Fantastic gameplay, Thin Ice. What an amazing, amazing game there. Going to go ahead and update the brackets here. See to it that all is recorded appropriately. Win by way of Thin Ice. Well done, Thin Ice. Moving Pumpkin Snatch into the losing bracket here. Extreme Butter was right on their match guess. Well done. Well done. Oh goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a breather as I get these next teams set up. So please, don't go away. If the mods and or staff are watching, let's go ahead and get a very quick, let's get a quick ad break set in here. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between or otherwise, we are just about to enter on in to our next round's matchup of Velcro 2 versus the Chadley Cannons. Now, for those of you just tuning in the last match, we saw Thin Ice face off against Team Pumpkin Snatch, with Thin Ice coming out on top and sending Team Pumpkin Snatch into the losing bracket. This is a double elimination, so Team Pumpkin Snatch still has the chance to bring it back, but is going to face an uphill battle to enter into the finals. What we are going to see next is going to be a duke 'em out of some of the powerhouses that made up the OWL's division. Between Velcro 2 taking the second place position overall within OWL's and the third place running up with the Chadley Cannons. Both of these teams performed strong in their divisions and even more so in the cross divisionals. It's beautiful to see both new and old faces coming together to really push forward within this game of Quidditch. Currently just waiting on the players to get themselves loaded on up. Looks like we are in for a fantastic next few matches. Remember, this is going to be a best of 3. So, whoever comes out in this best of 3 series will enter into the winning bracket. But whoever loses will be facing off with Team Pumpkin Snatch in the next match for their losing bracket. Alright, chat. Keep it civil. Keep it civil. I see you guys going back and forth. Always fun to see a bit of playful bickering. But we're not here for that. We're here to see some fantastic Quidditch plays. Oh, I know it's all love, Flourish. I know it's all love. Sending all of my love out to each of you as well. You guys have made this game fantastic. I can't wait to see what the rest of this day has planned out. It's 2026, we're only friends here. Wow. Your boy Skinny really relegating us to the friend zone immediately. Dang. Well, the good news is that Skinny has the skills to pay the bills to keep us at arm's length. We are thankfully going to be seeing some of their gameplay today as we watch between Skinny and I do believe Chad. Yes, this is going to be a great match, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I will go ahead and remind everyone, if you're just tuning in, be sure to follow us everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and be sure to follow us on over at our personal Discord, the official Discord being able to be found on our League7.gg website. Keep up with all the going-ons there, as well as enter in for next season, for Season 5. We're just wrapping up History of Magic, But Season 5 is going to bring even more Quidditch Champions gameplay to your doorstep, or I guess, technically speaking, to your castle step. In any case, we are in for some exciting matches here today. I, Virtual Witchcraft, am currently settling on in. I've got my water. It was an absolutely breathtaking match, those last 3 ones between Thin Ice and Team Pumpkin Snatch. Both powerhouse teams who've earned their ways up into N.E.W.T.s, and we're sure to see the very same coming from the Chadley Cannons and Velcro 2 Unicorns. Neo follows up, mic quality is gold. Thank you, Neo. I do apologize for the past few streams having some very crunchy audio quality. I got hit with a muffly auto spell and it added this really weird buzzing resonance to my voice. Oh, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. It's fantastic to be able to be here with you guys, back in this booth, here at League 7. And it looks like the players are readying themselves on up, so we are about to be moving into this next match. So don't go away. The real fun is about to begin. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Oof. I have been so caught up in everything, I've completely forgotten about our time turner moments. I will have to try and keep up with that. But we are entering into this next match. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chadley Cannons versus Velcro 2. And they are off. Your boy Skinny passes it on back. Currently, Velcro 2 in possession of the Quaffle. Chadley Cannons responding. Your boy swings on out. Ooh, but a save from Scourge. Scourge, an absolute beauty to behold when it comes down to the chasing game. Chad currently in possession of the Quaffle, looking for a shot. Puts it on, and 10 points on the board for the Chadley Cannons. Great shot. Great shot. I am astonished. Well done. Skinny currently in possession of the Quaffle. Looking to maintain that possession as they swing wide around, dancing back and forth, looking to pass it on back to Count-Tails perhaps. Does so. Count-Tails sends it on out. Prophecy now in possession of the Quaffle. Your boy puts it home. Well done, Skinny. Well done. Oh, but Skinny goes down as Scourge knocks them out. Currently, it looks as if Saffron in possession of the Quaffle. Chad looking to provide some support here. Taking a step back into the back end, rotating in and out of those positions, passing it on back to their keeper, Scourge. Scourge in possession of the Quaffle. Looks like Skinny is looking for that opening to maintain that, but Chad is back in possession of the Quaffle. Moving on downfield, weaves back and forth. Prophecy gains possession of the Quaffle, but it is back in the hands of the Chadley Cannons. Saffron J looking for his opening, sends it home, but Count-Tails beautifully stops it and passes it on back to Skinny. Skinny now streaking down the pitch, proving to be the ever-elusive, ever-evasive chaser that he is, but gets hit by a bludger from OTP. OTP manages to move that Quaffle back on over to Chad. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle, weaves right, swings left, takes the shot on center hoop. Well done, Chad. Let's see that one more time. And just as we come out of that, your boy, or excuse me, just as we come out of that, Dementor captures the Snitch. 30-20 by way of Velcro 2 in the lead. Well done there, Dementor. Well done. Dementor proving to be ever phenomenal in their seeking capabilities yet again. J-Guard not being given any inch or quarter by the offending team of Velcro. Beautiful, beautiful Quidditch being played here.
What a great pass.
Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle. Skinny looking to weave around, sends it over to the right hoop, but Scourge manages to protect that goal once again. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle, streaking on down the pitch, looking to secure another goal and reduce this lead. Sends it on down, but Count Tails defends back over to Skinny. Skinny currently working their way on over. 1 second here, everyone. Ooh, what a shot. Oh, and Scourge puts Skinny down yet again. Possession of the Quaffle still over by way of Velcro 2. Velcro 2 putting it on in. That is 40-20. Currently Velcro 2 in the lead. Chad in possession of the Quaffle. Chad looking to get another shot on goal. Reduce that lead by way of Velcro 2. Swings wide. Oh! Manages to get past the keeper, perhaps? Oh, but the defensive chasing line of Velcro 2 manages to keep that goal out. Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle, taking a few chaser rings set down by Count Tails. Looking to weave left, maybe? Or swings right? Nope. Goes over, sends a reverse shot. Scourge keeping them out of the gate. Skinny still in this. The Snitch game is at its... Oh! But it looks as if the OTP has eliminated Dementor. It's going to be a higher lead by way of the Chadley Cannons. Oh, a beautiful backward shot by Skinny, but unfortunately it is not enough to get past the dominating presence that is Scourge. But this just might... Oh, but Scourge saves once again! Sending it back on out to Warden. Warden passing it on to Saffron. Saffron passes it, but it misses. However, Saffron regains possession of the Quaffle. And J-Guard captures the Snitch with that Snitch lead, securing 40-40. What an amazing shot. Oh my goodness, ladies and gents. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle. Looking to get into that lead, going for the right hoop. Sends it home. Beautiful shot. One more time.
That's a player down. We have a player down.
And it looks like Chadley Cannons is in possession of the Quaffle. Takes the shot. Saffron puts it home. We are at a tie game with 30 seconds left on the clock. The Snitch meter looks to be just in favor of Velcro 2 at this moment. And Velcro 2 takes possession of the Quaffle, sending it on back home to their keeper, passing between Skinny and Count Tails, not wanting to give them any quarter. Skinny maintaining possession. 10 seconds left on the clock. We just might go into overtime here. Skinny still in possession. Oh! But it looks like Chad is going to take it home. Will Chad have what it takes to send it in this last second? We are in overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Sends it on out. Skinny in possession of the Quaffle now. Goodness me. And with that, Skinny sends it on home.
What a match. You can say that again, Fred. What a match!
That is 60
He always
points.
says commentating's so difficult. And now we
And
know
the
there's
first
not.
win
What a whinger.
goes to Velcro 2. Beautiful gameplay. Beautiful, beautiful gameplay. That first match win, going over to Velcro 2. Well done. Well done. Taking a quick breather there, ladies and gentlemen, kept me on my toes. As always with these fantastic teams, Velcro 2 coming out on top there in the last seconds within overtime. Absolutely astonishing match. Absolutely astonishing. What are you thinking, ladies and gentlemen? Is Velcro 2 going to maintain this lead? Do you think that they have what it takes to prevent the Chadley Cannons from taking home any further wins? Now as a reward, he should have that old people food with sick flip. Currently just waiting on the players to enter on into their second match, ladies, gentlemen. I am already getting a wee bit hoarse, so I'm going to be taking a bit more water. As some of our favorite Kelpies might say, be sure to hydrate right now if you can. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you what is all on the line here. With Velcro 2 having secured that first win, they are one step closer to entering into the winning bracket. If Chadley Cannons doesn't bring it back in full force this next match, we may see them enter into the losing bracket to face off against Team Pumpkin Snatch. But whoever wins here will be facing off against Thin Ice in the semi-finals. The next match after this one is going to be the losing brackets team first, followed then by the winning team. And then after that will be the losing bracket semifinals before we determine who comes out on top within the finals. Be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to shout on for each of your favorite teams here today. From my booth, I'm doing plenty of shouting. It's a lot to keep up with. These teams are fast-paced, but I'm going to bring you the best quality streams that I can possibly do on my side. So, be sure to tune in, keep up with these matches. Looks like the teams are just about ready to be getting into this, just waiting for the Chadley Cannons to ready up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do tell me, what do you anticipate the next match is going to be like? Are we going to see a shutdown? Or are we going to see the return of the Chadley Cannons? The Chadley Cannons bursting forth with their explosive blows on the Quidditch pitch? Or is the Velcro 2 Unicorn going to showcase their majesty, their grace, and their stickiness when it comes down to gripping onto that lead? And the opinions of this old man here, I must say, I have high faith in the Chadley Cannons and with my fellow caster OTP. And of course, I'm always greedy. I want to see a match 3 between these two. Beesman makes the bet that Scourge will game 2, only 1 received by Skinny. Shovel left hoop. 2 and 1 snitches for Velcro, but 3 received overall. Oh, I see, I see. And we're just about to enter on in, ladies and gentlemen. Entering into the second match between Velcro 2 Unicorns and the Chadley Cannons. This is going to be a fantastic matchup. And they are off. Skinny in possession of the Quaffle. Looking to do that classy Skinny shimmy. Sends it over to the right hoop. And it is in! That is 10 points on the board for Velcro 2. Taking an early lead with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Skinny maintaining that keeper pressure there, but presently the Chadley Cannons are now in possession. Nope, sends it back on outs. Velcro 2 regaining possession of the Quaffle. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle for the Chadley Cannons. Weaving around up near the top end, looking for a shot on hoop. Dives out of the way, doesn't take it, sends it towards the center hoop, but a beautiful save from Count-Tails keeps it out. Sends it on over to Prophecy. Prophecy now streaking on downfield. 2 defensive chasers on Prophecy's tail. Prophecy passing it on to Skinny. Skinny now looking for a shot on goal, but it's wide. Back in possession of the Chadley Cannons. Chad is my dad now in possession of the Quaffle, heading on from the left flank, looking to take on this hoop. Sends it on over. But another beautiful save by way of Count-Tails. Count-Tails sends it back on out to your boy Skinny. Skinny moving down the pitch. We are 50% on the Seekers game. 5 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock. Skinny swings left, sends it, but does not go in. Another beautiful save by way of Scourge. Scourge passing it on down to Chad. Chad is on over at midfield. Midfield moving closer and closer towards the hoops. Sends it, but it is saved again by Count-Tails. Count-Tails sending it back on out to Skinny. We are seeing a back and forth like no other between these key players. It is beautiful to behold, but it looks like Velcro 2 is lead on the snitch and is leading on the points 20-0 at 4 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock. Dementor currently in the lead on this snitch game. What a match, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Velcro 2 is going to maintain this lead. Unfortunately, it looks like J-Guard has been knocked down once or twice in this snitch race and is just not able to keep up. We are going to see here Dementor capture 40-0 by way of Velcro Unicorns at 4 minutes 38 seconds left on the clock. What a shot. What a shot. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Give me just one moment here.
hit like that is bound to leave more than just physical scars. Ah, so close. The Quaffle was stolen. That chaser's not playing around.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
She passes to her teammate.
Skinny in possession of the Quaffle, swings over to the right, sends it towards the center hoop, but misses. We are 40-0 with 3 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock right now. Currently, Velcro maintaining their lead. If Chadley Cannons wants to stay in this winning bracket, they are going to need to bring it home with a force. They are going to need to get 2 chaser goals and a snitch just to get it. Skinny looking to widen that lead, but unfortunately doesn't get past Scourge. Scourge sending it back on out over to Chad is my dad. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle, moving over from the right flank of the pitch. Dodges a speeding bludger, sends on up, looks for the shot, but gets tackled. What a beautiful tackle. Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle. Looks like the snitch is about 50-50 now. Skinny getting a keeper ring sent out by Count-Tails. Swings over to the right, sends over to the left, and puts it home. Beautiful shot. Let's see that one more time. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle, streaking on down the pitch. From the right-hand side, sends it up, but is kept out again by Count-Tails. Count-Tails offering no reprieve to Onello, currently in possession of the Quaffle, looking to get past the defensive chasing line. Chad keeping them at bay. Skinny looking to be on the other side of the pitch, preparing for a setup perhaps. Snitch lead currently by way of Dementor. Velcro 2 looking to maintain their status. Maybe entering into the winning bracket unless there is a miracle coming by way. Jay taking a hit for the Chadley Cannons. Velcro 2 currently still in the lead. Velcro holding on to possession of the Quaffle. Dementor captures the Snitch. That is 70-0. 1 minute 50 seconds left on the clock. Velcro Unicorns are in a massive lead. There is a minute 50 seconds left. Is it possible to turn this game around? It's unlikely, but still, Chadley Cannons are going to give it their all. I know they are. Looks like the Chadley Cannons steal possession from Skinny. T-Dreams in possession, coming in from middle field over on the left-hand side. Skinny looking to get a defensive chaser tackle on T. Holds it back, showing beautiful reservation. A decisive tackle from Skinny. Gains possession of the Quaffle. Dodges a speeding bludger. Looking to move this Quaffle down the field. Will they get another shot on goal? Holds on to it. Looking for a backwards pass. Sends it on over to Prophecy. Prophecy sends it back on over to Skinny. Skinny holding on to the possession of the Quaffle. 1 minute remaining on the clock. Snitch is in lead by way of Dementor. But Scourge grabs that Quaffle from out of the hands of the enemy team and sends it back on out. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle. Moving down the pitch. Skinny looking to get a defensive tackle on over here. Oh, but looks as if Prophecy now in possession. Your boy in Prophecy getting past the defensive line, looking to get over by Scourge. Oh, Scourge with a beautiful save. Sends it back on out. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle. 25 seconds left on the clock. It is unlikely that the Chadley Cannons are going to get any reprieve here, but Chad still says, I'm putting points on the board. What a shot. What a shot. One more time, ladies and gentlemen.
The Seeker has the Snitch.
Oh, and during that replay, it looks as if another Snitch capture by Dementor has put 90-10 by way of the Velcro Unicorns. This is a closeout match. What a shot. What a shot. Velcro uniforms. Velcro Unicorns win, bringing home 2 match wins against the Chadley Cannons, relegating the Chadley Cannons on into the losing bracket. Let's go ahead and update the standings there, ladies and gentlemen. Chadley Cannons, you performed very well, but you're going to be moving into the losing bracket and facing off against Team Pumpkin Snatch in this next match. An amazing series to behold thus far, ladies and gentlemen. Velcro 2 putting on a dominant display there, keeping the Chadley Cannons out of them out of their goals. I am again out of breath. Oh my goodness. I do hope in the next N.E.W.T.s I have some supporting casters here to help fill in where I can't. Because, oh my goodness. What a match. What a match. Gonna be taking a few moments here to go ahead and prepare for the next matches as we see Team Pumpkin Snatch go up against the Chadley Cannons. Let me see who all we have available for such. PKS, beautiful, beautiful. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it looks as if we are currently just waiting for the teams to gather together and prepare themselves. I'm currently making sure all standings and all graphics are currently at a good point. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to be watching this next match against PKS versus the Chadley Cannons. What are you thinking, everyone? With those last two games that we've witnessed, what are your predictions moving into the semi-final losing bracket? Or excuse me, the losing bracket's first match, I should say. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Who do you think is getting sent home? Remember, the loser of this bracket, of this particular matchup, is going to be going home today. They will be knocked out of the N.E.W.T.s, having made history within the 4th place slot. Extreme Butter, yes, this is going to be the losing bracket this next matchup. As we wait for everyone to get set on up here, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a quick breather just to make sure that we have a chance to run all ads. If staff is listening, please be sure to go ahead and run ads as I transition on over here. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Quidditch. All right. Welcome back, everyone. It looks as if the players are readying themselves up, and we are about to be moving into the first matchup between Team PKS and the Chadley Cannons. This is going to be for the first matchup within the losing bracket to determine who moves forward into the losing bracket semifinals and who goes home. Everything is on the line. 4 teams have entered into today's tournament, but one's going to be going home after these next few matches. This is going to be a best of 3 matchup. So one team just needs to get 2 wins and they can continue on and hopefully capture the name of the N.E.W.T.s champion. Will they be able to do so? Or will they fall back into the annals of history as just 4th place? We'll be finding out here shortly. But yes, everyone, be sure to put your predictions in. Let me know who you think is going to win in this matchup. We've seen some fantastic play from Team Pumpkin Snatch. We've seen some fantabulous plays by way of the Chadley Cannons. Presently, looking at them too, having placed within 5th place in OWL's bracket, Team Pumpkin Snatch still showcasing their dominance that they displayed over in their, I believe it was the Bins division, if I'm not mistaken. Chadley Cannons, on top of that, showing that they had an astounding lead in 3rd place, not only having secured a good standing within their division, but also maintaining it through the cross-divisionals. But whether or not either team can maintain that energy, that momentum that carried them forward to their placements today into this next match is going to determine just who comes out on top as our Quidditch champion. If you haven't already or you're just tuning in, first of all, welcome. Second of all, be sure to follow all of our personal socials that you can find over at league7.gg. Join us in our official League 7 server for all of our going-ons and events. We are currently ending the end of Season 4, History of Magic. On top of that, we've been playing out the first task of the Tri-Wizard Tournament, where 4 champions have entered in to achieve eternal glory, facing off against various different challenges. We've just completed the first task, I do want to say 2 weeks back, and we'll be entering into the second task here shortly. But before that, we have to see just who can claim the name of Season 4 historical Quidditch champions. Still waiting on our players to load themselves on up. In the meantime, I'm making sure all of our displays and all of our standings read as accurate. Looks like there's some wedding planning happening down in chat. Phenomenal to behold. Nothing brings a couple together like Quidditch. I'm sure Ludo Bagman would say that. Looks as if players are restarting some clients on their side, but they're entering back in. Well, yes, you've had one bachelor party, but what about second bachelor party? Ah, last one was desync, so how to redo? Too real, too real. Imagine you are halfway through a bachelor party and it kicks you out of the server because it is 41. Now, that is something to keep in mind. We are about to be entering into 41 territory, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, we are just cresting of 2 games before that becomes an issue, but something to be cognizant of for each team playing. As it stands, we want to make sure that every party has an equal opportunity to bring home the gold. PKS setting up the match and preparing the custom. For those who don't know, the difference between this season and previous ones is that we are utilizing custom matches more often now, primarily because of the new seeking meta. The snitch is only worth 20 points now, and it builds faster, allowing a usual 3-time capture within any one given match before entering into overtime. Other than that, all other gameplay is still relatively standard. It is still the Quidditch you know and love, just updated to be a bit more balanced. Something that this community has banded together to ensure. It's beautiful to behold. It's honestly, coming from the first season presidential perspective, allow me to say I'm so proud of how everyone has banded together, how far this game has come from its first iteration. And again, thank you, all of you, for continuing to play Quidditch, continuing to be a part of this league, continuing to make Quidditch history. Remember, everyone, it's all because of you. Beesman. Heading in the right direction next season. Snitch is worth 10, and season 6 finally a bonanza. Looks as if there might be a miscommunication between the 2 teams, with Chadley Cannons and Pumpkin Snatch setting up custom servers. Nope, never mind. They are now getting that coordinated. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be your last chance to put in your bets, so place your bets now. Who do you think is going to bring home the bacon on this next match? Is it going to be Team Pumpkin Snatch, or will it be the Chadley Cannons? They're finding server now. Let us all cross our fingers to ensure that the ping is good, that the servers remain strong. So far, so good, everyone. It is looking as if ping is acceptable, and we are entering into this match. The first match between Team Pumpkin Snatch and the Chadley Cannons. Gonna take a quick breath before we begin. And they are off!
The chaser passes. His eyes lock onto the snitch.
We have a beautiful positional play between Chad is my dad Beater and Alpha Tux as Seeker. You know the pressure is going to be high between these two players as neither of them want to be responsible for their team's loss. Tux takes a hit from Chad. Chad sends a bludger, Tux dodging out of the way just in time. The Chaser core is evenly balanced between these two teams, neither having conceded just yet within the first minute of the match. However, that may change, as the tide often does. Pumpkin Snatch currently in possession of the Quaffle, sending it on out to Cardi. Cardi holding on to the Quaffle, maybe looking to play a bit more tactically here, prevent the enemy keeper from getting that kick on Tux. But Tux takes a hit from J-Guard. We are just moving into the 50-50 meter point, by which looks like Chad is sending a bludger over towards Tux. Sends another. Tux is not getting any breathing room, wrapping around his home post and coming back towards midfield. J-Guard looking for a bump to shrink that lead. But it looks as if J-Guard is actually in the lead on this snitch. Tux closing the gap very quickly. Tux gets a beautiful bump there. Moving on downfield, the Chasers are moving away from Chaser game. No scores set on the clock at 5 minutes 15 seconds left on that Seeker game. Back and forth. McCoon eliminates J-Guard, giving Tux a wide lead on this snitch. But Chad is looking to get those hits on Tux. Tux looking to keep a wide berth, moving over towards enemy goal as both Scourge and Chad maintain that pressure. J-Guard looking to get some ground here, but Tux captures the snitch at 4 minutes 49 seconds left on the clock. That is 20 points by way of Team Pumpkin Snatch. Absolutely beautiful capture there. Tux proving to be one of the top tier Seekers despite the pressure. Tux having found the snitch first, maintaining a marginal lead in the snitch game. However, by way of Chaser core, 21st Q puts it in, 10 points on the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch, giving them a 30-point lead. Chads falling back on the back foot. The Chads need to find their footing in order to maintain themselves in this tournament. Of course, this is only the first game between the two of them. However, any loss here is one step closer towards the prolific or proverbial grave. Cardi, for Team Pumpkin Snatch, in possession of the Quaffle, puts it in. Another 10 points on the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch. Chadley Cannons needing to find a way to get back in this game. Chad looking for a means to put more pressure on the snitch game. Tux waiting for it with a beautiful bump there. Tux weaving around enemy goals, hesitant to enter into the enemy territory lest he be knocked down. Meanwhile, J-Guard is on his tail, trying to catch back up, trying to get a good bump in here and there, staying on top of the snitch, getting a marginal lead here as Chad maintains that beater pressure. But all the while, as this is happening, the Chaser core for Team Pumpkin Snatch is pushing downfield. Cardi in possession of the Quaffle, but Saffron maintains it now. Looks like the Chads are getting their footing once more. J-Guard in the lead on the snitch. However, Tux is getting closer and closer. We have just passed the 50-50 threshold. Looks as if J-Guard has taken a hit from the beater, but gets a bump on Tux. Moving back on over to the Seeker position as we are seeing a 70-50 meter. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Tux is crouching on home goal, swinging back around with a good lead on this snitch. But Chad is looking to get those hits in. Jay is looking for those bumps. Jay weaves out of the way. Looks as if Cardi puts another 10 points on the board. Beautiful shot by Cardi. 50-0. Team Pumpkin Snatch maintaining a dominating lead here. Absolutely wild plays. Jay goes for a bump but misses. Looks as if Tux was quandering whether or not to respond with a bump of their own, but decides otherwise and utilizes it there, maintaining the lead, getting closer. 1 minute 53 seconds left on the clock. Tux has the chance to capture, but J-Guard gets the bump. Swing wide. J-Guard is now on top of the snitch. Tux with a gross disparity between him and this. Will Tux get this bump? Tux gets the bump and the capture. 70-0 on the board. 1 minute 37 seconds on the clock. What a shot. What a match. Beautiful capture there by way of Tux. I am in awe of this Seeker gameplay. One Warden puts points on the board for the Chadley Cannons. That is now 70-10 with a 60-point disparity with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. There is potential for the Chadley Cannons to turn this around, but it is unlikely with the pressure that Team Pumpkin Snatch has been maintaining the entirety of this match. Still, Chad is my dad maintaining that pressure on the Seeker core. Tux gets a good bump over on J-Guard. J-Guard looking to respond. 21st Q maintaining the lead for Team Pumpkin Snatch with another goal, 80-10. 50 seconds left on the clock. It is unlikely that we will be seeing any overtime here, but still, my fingers are crossed. I want to see a match 3 between these two, and the sooner they secure this, the better. Tux getting a beautiful bump and maintaining a wide lead at approximately 70% on snitch meter, with 50 by way of J-Guard. J-Guard struggling to get past McCoon as beater guard. Takes another beat by Alpha Tux. Cardi putting another point on the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch. 90-10. Do they hold off? Do they want to get that 120, or excuse me, 110 on the board? Or is Tux going to not get the chance? That is 8 seconds left on the clock. 90-10. Tux has the chance. Will Tux get it in these last few seconds? Doesn't get it, but still a beautiful lead by Team Pumpkin Snatch. 90-10. What a match. What a match, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between. This is what Quidditch is all about. Team Pumpkin Snatch coming out on top and getting that first lead within the losing bracket. They have won 1 game, and Chadley Cannons have won none as of yet, but there is still the potential for a comeback, an upset, a turnaround by way of the Chadley Cannons. Hopefully. I hope so. Again, I'm greedy. I want game 3s. I want to see these prolific players come together and really give it their all. Looks as if they're going to be moving directly into this next match. Maybe there's going to be some team swap-ups. Maybe they keep with everything. We're not certain as of just yet. Now, everyone, just a reminder. This next win is going to determine who advances within the losing bracket and who gets sent home. The Chadley Cannons currently feeling the pressure as a Team Pumpkin Snatch beats their bat-like wings to keep them at bay. But will they return with the explosive force befitting their names? Will they be absolute Chads in this second match around and return home? We will see, everyone. We will see. Be sure to place your bets. Be sure to root on your favorite teams. Be sure to tune in. Tell everyone what you are about to behold, because it is certain to be another nail-biting match. Cardi states 6 more midfield shots. Stream Butter seems to be lavishing in their predictions. looks as if the Team Pumpkin Snatch is currently restarting some of their clients for their players. We're going to take a brief intermission just to make sure ads don't run. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, we are back. As Skinny has stated in chat, they are holding off for the 41. For those of you who may not know, around the 41 minute of every hour, there is usually a server reset. So both teams are taking a second to hold off until that 41 runs around so that they don't risk the server crashing on them. Especially if they are midway through a match. A server crash like 41 means that it would be disqualified and they'd have to play all over again, and no one wants to lose such a wide lead there. Thankfully, all players are cognizant of it. We have just encroached on the 41st minute. Players are rejoining their parties, restarting their clients, getting things ready and up. It is going to be just a brief moment before we enter back into this game. And for those who just might be joining us, we have entered into the first round of the losing bracket, where Team Pumpkin Snatch is facing off against the Chadley Cannons. Team Pumpkin Snatch have won one game out of this losing bracket, and will now see if they can continue on to enter into the next part of the bracket, or Chadley Cannons might claw to victory and respond with a match win of their own. Either way, this next match will make or break for one of them. Teams are setting into their positions now. Extreme Butter brings out a good point. Tux has been dominating in the snitch game these past few matches. In order for Chadley Cannons to maintain themselves within this bracket, they are going to have to find a way to respond between Tux and McCoon. A truly devastating duo to go against for any Seeker Corps. Having played against them in the past, let me tell you, they are incredibly formidable. But the Chadley Cannons have what it takes to respond in kind. Will they be able to do so in this next match? We're about to find out. And they're off. Chadley Cannons gain possession of the quaffle, streaking down the pitch. Chad is my dad, looking for an opening. Swings over to the right, passes it on over, and puts it in! T-Dreams puts the first goal on the board within 6 minutes, 45 seconds. 10 points by way of the Chadley Cannons, taking an early lead on this game. Pumpkin Snatch in possession of the Quaffle, sending it on out. Tux taking a bump. Looks as if J-Guard is maintaining his Seeker position there, wanting to get revenge perhaps on Tux for that last match, but J-Guard is currently feeling the pain. T-Dreams puts another 10 points on the board. 6 minutes in, 20-0, Chadley Cannons in the lead. Beautiful to behold. As I've said, Chadley Cannons do have that explosive force behind them. They just need to be able to apply it here. Maybe that first match was experimental. Currently, though, it looks as if Tux is maintaining that dominance within the Seeking game with a wide lead. Approximately a 60-50 versus J-Guard. Saffron in possession of the Quaffle, moving downfield. Shad looking for a setup, hoping to get a one-timer in here perhaps. But Saffron, no, T-Dreams puts another 10 points on the board. That is a hat trick for T-Dreams. Beautiful shot, 30-0. That's some snitch insurance right there by way of the Chadley Cannons. Ooh, and Tux is getting hit. The Seeking game is at its highest point. Currently, Tux in the lead by a wide margin, 95%. Ooh, it looks as if J-Guard is going to have a hard time closing that gap unless they get some good Seeker interference. J-Guard not giving up. Tux streaking down from the right-hand side of the field, looking to flank the snitch, dodges a speeding bludger. Weaves around the enemy post and captures as the snitch was oncoming, putting 20 points on the board for Team PKS. 20-30, Chadley Cannon still in the lead at 4 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Beautiful, beautiful capture there by Tux. What a match.
He spots his chance.
Chad putting it in like an absolute Chad. Beautiful shot. Let's see that one more time.
He lost the Quaffle. That's a fumble.
And it looks as if Tux is trying to find their way around. Meanwhile, the Chaser Core gameplay. T-Dream still in possession of the Quaffle. Passes on out. Chad now in possession of the Quaffle. Sends it on downfield. 21st regains possession of the Quaffle for Team PKS. Hoping to hold on to it. Being tactical. Waiting for the enemy to clear. But Chad regains possession of the Quaffle, looking as if we are entering into 40. And Chad puts it home. 50-20 on the board. Chads are absolutely rocking this Chaser Core gameplay today. Though, I wouldn't put it past Team Pumpkin Snatch to be keeping them in a false sense of security here before returning home in the last half. We are 3 minutes left on the clock and only 30 points lead by way of the Chads. That is 1 snitch capture and 1 goal before they meet in the middle. Chad in possession of the Quaffle. Going high, looks for the middle hoop, sends it, but Pumpkin with a beautiful save there. Showcasing that for a newer player, still has what it takes to keep even the most seasoned veterans out of goal. We're going to swap on over here shortly to Tux as the snitch game gets closer and closer. Looks as if Tux is trying to keep them out. J-Guard gets eliminated by McCoon, giving Tux a wide lead once more. Beautiful shot by Cardi, responding to those goals. Finally getting a point on for PKS. 30-50, 1 snitch capture could bring this to a tied game. Tux looking to do so, keeping wide burst, staying safe. Getting closer, closer, looking for this capture here. Thierry puts another point on the board, making sure that that tied game is kept away just for now. 50-60. Chadley Cannon still in the lead, even with that beautiful capture by way of T.U.T.s for PKS. 2 minutes left on the clock. There is potential for this to turn around, but the Chadley Cannons don't want to give them that opportunity. Saffron in possession of the quaffle, but Cardi grabs it out from their hands. PKS now in possession of the quaffle, but Saffron gains it back. Looking as if the Chadley Cannons pass it on over to Chad. Chad moving over from the right-hand side, going up, going right, swings past Pumpkin with an easy goal there. Moves in, 70 points on the board. We now have a 20-point lead. One snitch capture could turn this around if T.U.T.s maintains that seeker difference that he's been holding with Macoon on Jay. Jay is going to have to stay alive if they want to prevent T.U.T.s from getting there. But with every bludger, every beater hit, Jay is losing meter. Jay is looking to get that berth. Oh, Chad puts another point on the board. 80-50. They are maintaining that dominant chaser lead. T.U.T.s is going to have to swing in here and maintain that snitch elevation, and one goal sent from PKS. This could look like a game 3. OTP has been eliminated by Macoon. There is no pressure being applied to T.U.T.s at this point. J-Guard is trailing behind in the snitch meter, moving into the last 30 seconds of the match. PKS still behind by 30 points, but this could turn around. As I've said, PKS is known for their last second. Chad puts another point on the board that might prevent PKS from getting that turnaround here. T.U.T.s captures the snitch at 20 points left on the clock. That is 70-90. There is a possibility for PKS to respond with 2 goals. Whether or not they can will be up to the Chads to maintain that pressure on them and keep them out of goal. That is a high pressure on both CompuGamer and their defensive line, primarily within Saffron, but Saffron maintains possession of the quaffle, passes it over to Chad. Does Chad take the shot for the last second shot? He does, but that is it. That is 90-70 by way of the Chads. Beautiful goal. Beautiful goal there. Well done, Chads. They showcased they had what it takes to maintain themselves in this losing bracket, ensuring that they aren't sent home just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, did you project that? Or did you find yourselves with a wide upset? Getting things updated here with 1 win for both teams. That is beautiful. Team Pumpkin Snatch and the Chadley Cannons now focusing on this. Now focusing on what they need to do to fight back against Pumpkin Snatch's team. Meanwhile, Team Pumpkin Snatch is probably taking a moment, breathing, recalculating. As we've known plenty of their players to do in previous teams, they don't approach these matches from just a wide angle. They don't look at this from a general idea. No, they focus on the details. They focus on positions. They focus on strengths and weaknesses. They focus on tactics. The Chadley Cannons need to be able to face off against this in this next upcoming match, because either way, one of these teams are going home. If the Chadley Cannons maintain that chaser difference, they might be able to squeak by, even with the killer combo that is Macoon and T.U.T.s between Beater and Seeker Core on PKS. J-Guard is going to need to stay on their broom if they want a chance at keeping T.U.T.s off the snitch, but whatever they were doing within the chasing game was working for them. It's going to be fantastic. Looks as if they are about to be moving into their next match, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final matchup between PKS and the Chadley Cannons. One of these teams is going home after this match here. Who do you think will win? Who do you think will lose? Who's going to advance into the finals or into the semifinals within the losing bracket? And who's going to go home?
Welcome back to the pit.
Place your
Get
final bets
comfortable,
now.
but don't forget to duck. Let's hope this match
Best
turns
of
out
3,
better than
even in the
last time
elimination
we played
rounds. That
Quidditch.
is right, Beesman. That is
Speak for
right.
yourself. I had a great time. But then again, I am the better athlete. The quaffle's up.
And we are in, taking a view of N.E.W.T.s on Seeker. Looks as if they are maintaining their positions as last time. Same when it comes down to Chad's. Chad is my dad, keeping up on that pressure. Cardi in possession of the quaffle, puts it in. 10 points by way of Team Pumpkin Snatch, with 6 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock. Meanwhile, N.E.W.T.s is taking a few bumps here and there, stunned, but still keeping a marginal lead on this snitch. It looks as if J-Guard has been taking note and is trying to keep out of the way of the ever-prolific Macoon, but Macoon still gets a clonk on them. Quaffle sent on downfield to T-Dreams. T-Dreams passing it on over to Chad. Chad taking it in from the right-hand side. Will he swing to the left? Does from the left, but misses. Beautiful capture there by Pumpkin Snatch. Pumpkin Snatch sending it on home to 21st Q. 21st Q in possession of the quaffle. Swinging in from the right-hand side. Trying to get past Compu,
And the shot misses.
but misses by a hair. Snitch game is just entering into the 50-50 mark. It looks as if they're relatively even, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be fantastic to behold. Chad in possession of the quaffle, swings down, sends it on over, but it is wide. Pumpkin Snatch sending it on out to Cardi. Cardi showing in the past a great chance to get past Compu, but Chad regains possession of the quaffle.
Wings.
Sends it wide. Cardi regains possession of the quaffle for Team Pumpkin Snatch, trying to keep it over on the enemy side of the field to prevent them. Macoon takes a hit from a bludger. OTP gets hit with the bludger. Moving on over to the Seeker game, N.E.W.T.s is maintaining a wide lead on this snitch. J-Guard is having to try and squeak on by. It looks as if T-Dreams is in possession of the quaffle. Will T-Dreams score before N.E.W.T.s has a chance to capture this snitch? It is anyone's game here. N.E.W.T.s takes a hit, knocking him off of line, but will it be enough? He's looking for his opening. Jay misses a bump. Jay gets hit. N.E.W.T.s captures the snitch, putting 20 points on the board, even as Chadley Cannons score there. That is 30-10. Team Pumpkin Snatch maintaining their lead at 4 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock. The Chads are going to have to respond with that same kind of chaser pressure they had in that last game if they want to maintain themselves in this bracket. Otherwise, this could very well send them home. N.E.W.T.s comes in with a good bump and a last-minute swing out of the way of an oncoming bludger. Quaffle game is left up to chance. Back into Pumpkin's hand. Pumpkin sends it on out. Cardi in possession of the quaffle. Cardi showcasing a brilliant display in the previous matches of being able to get past CompuGamer. Will Cardi be able to do the same here? No, looks like CompuGamer gets that save. Once more sending it on out to Chad, but Chad gets hit by a quaffle, relieving the quaffle back into Cardi's hands. Cardi looking to once more put some points on the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch. Will Cardi be able to do so? Passes on over to Neo, but doesn't. T-Dreams now in possession of the quaffle for the Chadley Cannons, holding on to it, passing it on out, losing possession of the quaffle, sends it on back. Chad now in possession of the quaffle, sends it over to left hoop, but Pumpkin Snatch keeps it out of goal. Wide lead by way of Team Pumpkin Snatch on the snitch, with N.E.W.T.s and Macoon once more dominating the field. Ooh. They're going to have to put some excellent pressure on here. Cardi once more widening that gap. Now 40-10 with the 30-point disparity between them. That is snitch insurance, even if the Chadley Cannons get this. There's still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. There is a time for them to turn it around, but they are moving within the 80% time for the snitch meter, with N.E.W.T.s currently closing the gap. Will the Chads swing off of their powerful chaser gameplay in order to apply more pressure? We will see. We'll swap on over here, over to N.E.W.T.s position as we are entering into 85, 90% snitch meter. Cardi putting another 10 points on the board, creating a wider disparity between the teams. That is 40 points. That is going to have to be 2 snitch captures or 1 snitch capture and 2 quaffle goals just to be able to get back on form. J-Guard is going to have to pull forward in this disparity on the snitch. Does J-Guard have what it takes to do so, as Tux is keeping that wide lead, using that snitch focus just to keep away from the enemy line? Swings off, entering onto enemy territory. Will Jay be able to get that hit? Oh, a beautiful hit by way of OTP, bringing that down. Tux is hit once more. But does he get it? Swings upward, gets the bump, gets hit by a bludger. Cardi puts another 10 points on the board. Jay has a chance to end this here. And Tux goes down. Jay captures the snitch. 1 minute, 16 seconds left on the clock. That is now 60, 30, only 30-point disparity. The Chads could bring this back around with 1 minute left on the clock. What a match, ladies and gentlemen. What a turnaround. Beautiful. Beautiful coordination by way of the Chadley Cannons to keep Tux out of there, even with their domineering presence. Now they just need to respond with some beautiful chaser play, as they have been known to do in the past. Chad looking to get away around it, but Cardi regains possession of the quaffle with that brilliant defensive line, moving it downfield. But T-Dreams picks the quaffle back up for the Chadley Cannons. Chadley Cannons looking for an opening, takes it, the shot! And there's 40, 60, 30 seconds left on the clock. Do they have enough time to turn this around with the snitch capture? Even if they do, it doesn't look likely, as J-Guard has been knocked down. J-Guard having conceded quite a bit of snitch meter. Tux may be able to secure this. Cardi putting another 10 points on the board. 15 seconds left on the clock. It doesn't look like they are going to get this here. And that looks like it's going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, for the Chadley Cannons, as Team PKS secures 70 points to 40, putting them into the next round of the losing bracket and moving us forward within the tournament. For the Chadley Cannons, well done, Chadley Cannons. Absolutely in awe of everything that we have seen here today. I'm honestly floored. Let me go ahead and get these matches updated here on the board. Team Pumpkin Snatch, you've earned that win. Chadley Cannons, you will still go down in Quidditch history for all that you have provided here today. Well done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to be entering into the next match between the Velcro Unicorns and Thin Ice. Be sure to place your bets here shortly. Who knows what this match will entail? As always, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely a pleasure and an honor to be casting here with you today. I hope all of you have been enjoying the stream. I've been enjoying these powerful matches by these incredible players. We are in for some exciting matches coming up here as we are entering into the semifinals bracket for the winners. Who do you think is going to bring home the bacon? Who do you think is going to enter into the losing bracket? Got one vote in for the Unicorns. Oh, well, that's not right. Let's go ahead and change that on up. Well done, Pumpkin Snatch. You and your team have played so very well over these past few months, and especially moving into the N.E.W.T.s. We must laud you with praises, doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Even though you got hit with that first loss in the initial bracket, you are coming around. You are showcasing that you may have been down that once, but you are not out. You are going to be bringing it back as you enter into that semifinals against the loser of this next match against Thin Ice versus Velcro 2. Now, a lot of these players that you see within Thin Ice and in Velcro 2 have faced off in the past. Some new faces, but for the most part, you have a large majority of people coming in from Crazy Comms, and they might hold a grudge against Thin Ice for the previous season, having knocked Crazy Comms out of the running in the final matches of Season 3's N.E.W.T.s. Under a new name, under a new team, do they come back with the vengeance? A spiritual vengeance? Or have they turned over a new leaf? We will see. Currently just waiting on the players in order to load on into their matches. Looks like they are loading up, figuring out just what they are planning to do, where they hope to go, who they hope to play in what position. Just as a quick reminder to everyone, this is the winner's bracket for the semi-finals. Best of 3. Whoever loses here will be relegated to the losing bracket and next match. Whoever losing here ends up facing against the winning team of the last match, being Team Pumpkin Snatch. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us over on our Discord. You can find that through our official website at league7.gg. Become a part of the Quidditch Champions experience today as a part of the one and only League 7. We'll be entering into Season 5 sometime in the near future. I'm not exactly certain when that timeline is, but usually it only starts about within a month after the previous series, if I'm not mistaken. Going to be an interesting matchup to see then. But today, we are making history within our history of Magic's N.E.W.T.s. Hydrate if you can. Looks like the players are loading themselves on in now, as we're about to face off in the first match between Thin Ice and Velcro 2. The number 1 and number 2 teams in N.E.W.T.s. You know what to expect. All right. And we're getting into it, everyone. At Weasley Burrow Snow. And they are off. Currently taking a look between Groovy Games and Dementor, we are going to see some fantabulous Seeker gameplay and Chaser gameplay, always fun to behold. Currently looks like they're coming out of the gate with the Seeker pressure. Count-Tails holding onto the Quaffle, putting it out into midfield. Dake gathering the possession of the Quaffle, but Prophecy responds by getting it out of their hands. However, Shintasu regains possession of the Quaffle, moving it on over to the enemy side, looking for an opening, but Count-Tails saves the goal. Beautiful save by way of Count-Tails. We are already past the first minute mark. Count-Tails eliminates Denji for... oh, goodness. Eliminates Denji for Thin Ice. Or excuse me. Yes, Thin Ice. Dementor currently maintaining a wide lead on that snitch. Count-Tails in possession of the Quaffle. Sends it on out to your boy Skinny. Skinny looking for an opening. Velcro looking to put another 10 points on the board here for Velcro. But concedes possession to Yukio. All-around great keeper and all-around great player. Groovy now in possession, sending it on over to Dake Blueby. Dake Blueby having a history of getting past those difficult shots. And we'll move on over to the Seeker gameplay as Dementor is keeping a wide lead on this snitch. Dementor getting closer and closer. Swings out of the way of an incoming bludger. Encroaching in, looking for this capture, has the 100, but gets knocked away, gets hit, currently giving Denji another chance to keep on top of this. Ooh, Dementor having a hard time keeping out of the way of all of these strikes as the Chaser core is keeping on him. Dementor takes a hit, and another punch! Dementor is losing snitch meter fast. Meanwhile, Denji is encroaching, closer, closer! Will they be able to turn around? Misses the bump. Loses the opportunity for that snitch catch. Will Denji keep up with this? Dementor goes down. Dementor knocked out by Jay Moeller, allowing Thin Ice to capture the snitch. 20-10 by way of Thin Ice at 4 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock. What a Seeker turnaround. Whew, I'm out of breath, everyone, but oh my gosh, Count-Tails in possession of the Quaffle, sending it on out. Your boy Skinny now holding on to the possession of the Quaffle, seeing to get past Groovy here. Groovy swings but misses. Swings left, shoots, but Yukio keeps it out. Another stellar keeping performance. However, Tuonela regains possession of the Quaffle. Groovy looking to attack on here. Looks as if, passes over to Skinny. Skinny coming in from the right. Groovy setting up for a defensive line. Yukio saves the shot once more. Passes to Groovy. Groovy passing on over to Dake. Dake with possession of the Quaffle on the right-hand side. Groovy returning over to home side to add Seeker pressure as it looks like the teams are roughly neck and neck. I do believe might be a little bit wide by way of Dementor. Meanwhile, Skinny for Velcro 2 in possession, coming in from the left-hand side, looking for an opening, puts it in. 20-20 tie game at 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Beautiful shot by the OG. That is Skinny. Yukio coming wide out into the match. Dake now in possession of the Quaffle. Groovy looking for a potential one-timer setup here. Count-Tails is going to have to keep them out. And does. Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle. Skinny back in possession of the Quaffle, but struggling to maintain and is eliminated. Shintasu now in possession of the Quaffle, streaking on over to the Velcro 2 side of the pitch, looking for an opening, but Count-Tails saves, sending it back on out to... oh goodness, Quaffle is back out of their hands. We are getting close on the snitch race. We have 1 minute 52 seconds left on the clock. Looks as if the Chasers are abandoning the Chaser game in order to apply more pressure. Skinny now back in possession of the Quaffle, holding on to it maybe for a more defensive position, sending it on back. We are neck and neck here. Dementor with a lead once more, but gets hit. Kicked by Yukio, if I am not mistaken. Will that give Denji enough time? Dementor secures the catch, earning 20 points, putting Velcro 2 now in the lead at 1 minute and 23 seconds with 30-40 on the board. This is a back and forth match. Neither team will give up easily, and all of them are in it to win it in this first match. Who will put the other on the back foot for this next upcoming match? Skinny swings over to the right, but Yukio saves once again, showcasing that beautiful keeper play that they have earned over the years. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Shintasu now in possession of the Quaffle. Groovy backing up in order to provide that defensive line. Count Tails now in possession. Sends it on over to Prophecy. Prophecy sending it downfield over to Skinny. Skinny swings over into the midfield. 39 seconds left on the clock. However, it looks as if the Knights have regained possession of the Quaffle. Groovy looking for a one-time. Sets up for a pass, but it is kicked away. Count Tails now in possession of the Quaffle. Kicks it. Your boy Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle. 50-50 both ways for the Seekers. Oh, but Shintasu regains possession of the Quaffle. Gets knocked out of their hands by Gym Tones. Skinny now in possession of the Quaffle, moving from midfield. Swinging left, swinging right. Oh, but Groovy gets a punch on. Sends it on out. Dake Blueby now in possession of the Quaffle. 5 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to send it home if they want to be able to bring this to a tied game. Will they do it? They do not. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, 30-40 by way of Velcro 2. Velcro 2 taking home the first game. Woo! What a match, everyone. That is 1 game win by way of Velcro 2. What a shot. Well done on that first game win, Velcro 2. Currently taking the lead just over thin ice there. Fantastic to behold. It's always fantastic to behold. But of course, that means they're getting closer now to a second game or to a potential loss here. Will they have what it takes to move into the next one? Will Velcro Unicorns take home the gold? We will have to see. We will have to see. Hope everyone's enjoying the game thus far. Currently looks like we might be having some HUD issues. I'm going to see if I can get a new HUD on up for all of us here. Ooh, come on. Let us get another one. There we go. We are back in this, everyone. We are back in this. Skinny over in chat saying he was playing like trash. I don't know, Skinny. You got some shimmies going on there. Always, always fantastic to behold. Tell me, Skinny, are you still rocking the Swift Stick? Always. I love the consistency. You are an absolute beast, my man. It is a pleasure to behold you every single time. Alright everyone, it looks like the teams are getting ready to enter into their second match. Shouldn't face any issues with 41 right now. We are only at 19. Teams are loading in to, the ever epic World Cup. We will see if that causes them any issues, as I've heard it's affected some people in the past. Loading on in. Ping looks to be pretty good from what I can see. And we're about to enter into the second match. This could be where it all happens. Whoever wins this one will move on into the winning finals. And whoever loses this will enter into the losing bracket. Or if Thin Ice loses this, they'll enter into the losing bracket. And they are off. We have today the perspectives of both Skinny and J Mauler. Getting our bearings here. Groovy in possession of the quaffle, moving it on downfield. Takes the shot, but it is saved by Count Tails. Prophecy now in possession of the quaffle, sending it on forward. Skinny now in possession, coming in from the left-hand side. Moving in towards the middle. Goes back out to the left, swings right. Tries to send it home with the shovel shot. Unfortunately, just does not get past the beast that is Yukio. Yukio sending it back on out. Dake Blueby now in possession of the quaffle, moving on over into enemy territory. Looking for an opening. Skinny looking to be in the backfield just in case for the rotation. Now to Onella, now bringing the quaffle back on by way of Velcro 2. Velcro 2 sends it on over to Skinny, but it appears to be kicked away. Shintasu now in possession of the quaffle. Sends it on out back to Tuonella. Tuonella sends it back to Shintasu. This quaffle is moving back and forth between the both of them. Over to Deke Blueby. Blueby now in possession. Looking for an opening. Takes the shot. That is 10 points on the board by way of Velcro. Or no, not Velcro. Thin Ice. Well done. Well done. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock with the first goal after 1 minute and 30 seconds. You know that this is a great back and forth. Skinny looking to respond. Skinny does respond with a beautiful shot with 5 minutes, 18 seconds. Let's take a look at that one more time. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. And it looks as if we are getting close on that snitch race. J Mauler trying to encroach in on Dementor. Dementor keeping a solid lead. No, wait. Never mind. Denji keeping the lead and captures the snitch, putting 30 points now. 20 additional points on the board. 30 points in total for Thin Ice, creating a 20-point differential between them and Velcro 2. This could be a turnaround of the century, everyone. This could be it. Skinny in possession of the quaffle, working his way on over to outfield. However, Dake Blueby now back in possession of the quaffle, moving in on the Velcro 2 side. Skinny swinging in for that defensive line chaser. Looks to go in. To Onella, now in possession of the quaffle as Velcro 2 regains possession. Skinny moving back downfield, but Groovy steals it, moving back over to Velcro 2's side, keeping that pressure high, looking for an opening, trying to find something, but Count Tails, ever the powerful keeper, keeps them out. Dake Blueby still regaining possession. Dake moving downfield, coming up from high. Ooh, but a good clonk there from J Mauler, I do believe. Knocks it out of their hands. J Mauler proving to be an absolute beast on the pitch. J Mauler taking a hit from Jim Tones, though. Jim Tones is not about to allow J Mauler to be the only beater in this matchup. Skinny swings over to the left-hand goal in the last second and puts it in. That is 20-30. The gap between them narrowing more and more. Velcro Unicorns now also on the wider differential when it comes down to the snitch game. We see a turnaround, but J Mauler clonks Dementor, reducing that snitch disparity more. What a match. There we go. We're back in this, ladies and gents, after a brief technical issue. We are now currently 30-30 with 2 minutes and 25 seconds on the board. Thin Ice currently in possession of the quaffle. Dake Blueby sending it home for Thin Ice. Once again, moving out of that tied game. Thin Ice not wanting to give any quarter, not wanting to allow them that disparity, or not wanting them to get close on it. But it looks as if Dementor is getting on top of this snitch. We'll change over to J Mauler as we watch the end of this snitch race, potentially. Dementor with a high lead, the ability to put 20 points on the board for Velcro 2 evermore. If Thin Ice wants to stay in this, they're going to have to keep Dementor off the snitch. They are keeping up that pressure. Gets a hit on Dementor. J Mauler looking for a way to get in on this, but Dementor says, no, that snitch is mine. Adding 20 points to the scoreboard. 50-40, now lead by way of Velcro 2. That is 10 points within 1 minute 44 seconds to try and catch back up. It is possible for Thin Ice, but they are still on the bleeding edge of a potential loss here. Of course, that loss won't knock them out completely, but it is one step closer. Skinny puts it home, widening that gap. 40-60 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the board. League 7 champions, ladies and gentlemen, dear audience, what a matchup this has been so far. Your boy Skinny in possession of the quaffle. Going for the Skinny shimmy, sends it home. 58 seconds left on the clock. We are now 40-70. Velcro 2 taking a wide lead. Thin Ice in the lead on that snitch game. All they need is one more quaffle goal and a snitch capture if they want to turn this around. It is possible, but they are going to have to work both on snitch and chaser pressure. It is difficult for any one team to do, ever more difficult within the top 2 teams of these OWL series. 30 seconds left on the clock. Will Thin Ice be able to turn this around, or does this look like it's going to be a shutout? Prophecy in possession of the quaffle. 20 seconds left on the clock. However, it's conceded on over to Chintasu. Chintasu for Thin Ice, moving that ball downfield. Sends it on down. Counttails regains possession of the quaffle. We are getting closer and closer to that snitch end. With 9 seconds left on the clock. And Denji captures the snitch. That is 60-70. 10 points. Is it possible to Thin Ice to get this last second shot? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But what a match. Will they do it? They do not. That is 60-70. Velcro 2 having won that match and taking home the winner's bracket here. Goodness. What a win. What a win. Velcro 2, phenomenal gameplay. Phenomenal gameplay. Let's go ahead and update that bracket. Velcro 2, moving on into the finals. Next up, Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch. Within the losing bracket, one of these teams is going to send the other home today and enter in as the second place to fend off in the finals. What's everyone's bets? What are we feeling? So either another rematch or a CC family reunion. It is possible. It is possible. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of chat, we are entering into what is going to be the semi-final within the losing bracket. Home team of Thin Ice versus the away team of Team Pumpkin Snatch. Team Pumpkin Snatch having ever awaited this. Again, after having lost within their first bracket. I bet they're happy to see Thin Ice back on the board here. Will they have what it takes to put them back in their place, or is this going to be a repeat of round one? I'm both terrified and excited to see what this match holds. Looks as if players are loading on N. We do have a good clearance between now and 41. As I do the same, be sure everyone to hydrate. It looks like they are loading in on Weasley Burrow Snow. Alright everyone, let us go ahead and enter ourselves on in to the first matchup between Thin Ice and Team Pumpkin Snatch within the losing bracket series. Be sure to place your bets now, as we're about to begin. And they are off. Today we are going to be taking a look. Oh, nope, looks like we are bloody helling. Seems as if there are connection issues and they are having to back on out. Makes sense. Again, this is N.E.W.T.s. Everything rides on this. And it is a bit of a N.E.W.T.s tradition to always see at least one bloody hell. Everyone's looking to maintain their placements. It all rides down to the wire on this one. It'll be a best of 3 against these two powerhouses, and then the winners of this match will move on to face against Velcro 2 in the next match, which will be a best of 5 series. So, after this last best of 3, we'll have a best of 5 and potentially a reset in the bracket if the losing bracket team comes out on top the first time around. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, be sure to join us over at our official server that you can find over at league7.gg.com, or excuse me, just league7.gg. From there, you'll be able to keep up with all of the going-ons, as well as maintain an idea of what we're looking at for next season. We are wrapping up our Season 4 History of Magic here today, encroaching closer and closer to the final matches. I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of chat. I hope all of you are too. Players are taking a minute, taking a breath. Though I will say, it is getting dangerously close to the 41. At 15:33, if they enter into a match now, that's 7 minutes, ending at 15:40. So, we may yet be seeing that they're waiting on one another, which is perfectly fine. I don't think either team wants to risk it for the biscuit, as the kids say today. In the meantime, I think we'll go ahead and take a quick ad break just to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Wait out the 41. So don't go away, everyone. We'll be right back. Staff, if you're listening, please go ahead and set us up with an ad break. Stay tuned. All right, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed members of chat. Looks as if the players are getting themselves ready now. Preparing to wait out the last 3 minutes before 41 and enter in on this Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch game. The tensions are high. Whoever loses these next two games could be sent home. Will be relegated to third place within League 7's Season 4 History of Magic tourney. No one wants to be sent home today, but unfortunately only one team can win. Whoever ends up winning this next one will end up moving on into the finals bracket against Velcro 2. It is possible that we see a rematch, or it is possible that we see a cross-divisional play. Either way, I do think we are in for some spectacular gameplay here shortly. Currently at the 40-minute mark, waiting for the 41st. Hope everyone is as on edge as I am. This is keeping my heart rate up. If you haven't been able to tell, these Quidditch games have got my, I've got my heart racing. Skinny says he might have a heart attack. Ha! Skinny, you make it look so easy out there. Your heart may be racing. My heart beats for you, baby. It's all the Swift Stick. It's all the Swift Stick. For anyone who's just joining us, we're going to be moving into the semifinals of the losing bracket to determine who will be moving forward into the finals. Currently, Velcro 2 has secured their place, but now we will be facing off with Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch to determine who gets to meet them on the pitch. Players are readying themselves in. The 41st minute of each hour has already come and is about to go. Oof, 000 blue bottle is the real meta. You are so right. You are so right. Too many players rely on good brooms and good stats. It's all about the hard skill, isn't it, oof? Being able to skill diff another player is what makes the game. I say falling behind and getting bumped away with my 550 snitch build or my 000 snitch build. Alright everyone, it looks like we will be entering back into gameplay over at the Weasley'sboro Snow. Taking a look, it seems as if everything might be safe here. We could see the first matchup between these two Titan teams. Only a 60 and 16 ping. That looks acceptable. So welcome, esteemed members of chat, into Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch. Today, we have the perspective of Flyerish and Tux. Beater versus Seeker in this match. Entering into the first 15 seconds of the match, it doesn't look like anyone has scored just yet. Cardi for Team Pumpkin Snatch in possession of the quaffle, looking to pass it on downfield, or maybe looking for the shot. Never mind, gets it in. 10 points on the board by way of Team Pumpkin Snatch. At 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock by the time of that score. Presently, looking as if the Seeker race is having a hard time. Tux and Macoon, always a dominating presence, but Tux is fighting off against Flyrish, who is keeping them on their toes. Always good to see. Always good to see. Meanwhile, 6 minutes in, Cardi racing back downfield, looking for another shot on goal to get an early lead, but it is saved by Yukio. Cardi regains possession of the quaffle, might go for a second shot. Second time might be the charm. Ooh, but Shintasu kicks it away. Over to Yukio. Yukio now in possession, looking for an opening to send it on downfield. Flyrish, in the meantime, is trying to put up some pressure, potentially sending it on over to Macoon to give their Seeker more of a chance to get past there. Small amount of desync there, but during that time, Groovy manages to put it in for the first 10 points for Thin Ice. We have 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the board. This is a tie game. Could be anyone's bet. Flyrish steals that oncoming bludger from Macoon, sending it on over to Tux. Pumpkin Snatch in possession of the Quaffle, sends it out to midfield. Cardi now in possession, streaking down the pitch, looking for an opening, trying to put in another shot and keep that tied game from remaining so. Swings on down, pulls back, waiting for their Seeker to clear out of enemy territory. Always a good idea, always a good idea. But it's getting closer, and it is getting closer, and it is looking like it is more than likely going to be Tux on top of the Snitch. We've seen it happen, and he captures at 4 minutes 47 seconds, adding 20 points to the board. That is 10-30, Team Pumpkin Snatch in the lead, squeaking forward now. Thin Ice is going to have to respond here if they want to keep up. Shintasu now in possession, sends it on out. Pumpkin regaining possession, sends it to Cardi. Cardi now in possession of the Quaffle. Will Cardi be able to get past Yukio here? No, Dake Blueby prevents that from even getting that far. Meanwhile, Flyrish is putting some clonks on top of Tux. Ooh, and Tux goes down as Flyrish knocks him to the ground. Groovy now in possession of the Quaffle, looking to get past Pumpkin Snatch, but Pumpkin Snatch makes an amazing save, keeping the Quaffle out of their goal and preventing Thin Ice from getting that next shot. Passes on over to Neo. Neo takes the Quaffle, passes it on over to Cardi. Cardi, with a prolific history of getting that Quaffle in the goal. Will they do it again? Oh, does not look like it. Now, Groovy in possession of Thin Ice. Groovy comes up from the top, swings on down, but Pumpkin Snatch gets the save once again, showcasing her capabilities as a keeper. Cardi in possession. Flyrish trying to get those clonks in on Tux, keep that Seeker pressure up. Chintasu for Thin Ice, now in possession of the Quaffle, passing it on over to Groovy, moving on towards Pumpkin Snatch's side of the team. Will they get the shot? They do! Chintasu points another 10 points on the board. What a match. We are 2 minutes 56 seconds left on the clock. Currently, Seekers are approximately at 50 and 40. Solid lead there. Cardi now looking to get another shot on goal, but it is saved. Shintasu now in possession. Flyrish knocking Cardi. Quaffle, ooh, we're seeing some desync here. Esteemed members of chat, desync and N.E.W.T.s, always a tradition. Love to hate to see it. Dake Blueby in possession of the Quaffle. Flyrish getting a hit on Macoon. Dake Blueby putting that goal in, bringing the score to a tied game. And it looks as if Denji is now in the lead on the Snitch with a good bump. And Tux getting hit by Denji, or by Flyrish, excuse me. 2 minutes left on the board. The Snitch is getting closer and closer. We're going to swap on over there. And it looks like Neo puts points on the board for Team Pumpkin Snatch. 30-40, 1 minute 50 seconds left on the clock. These Seekers are getting close. Oh, Flyrish knocks out Macoon, giving them a wide berth for Denji to get that Snitch out there. Flyrish keeping up the pressure over on Tux. Tux swinging out of the way, but Denji captures the Snitch at 1 minute 36 seconds left on the board. That is 50-40. Thin Ice in possession. Shintasu now in possession of the Quaffle. Moves it on over to Groovy. Groovy puts it in. Another 10 points for Thin Ice. Ooh, and Flyrish knocks out Tux once more, giving Denji an even wider lead on that Snitch. They now have some Snitch insurance and 20 points, but Team Pumpkin Snatch has what it takes to bring this game back around. I do see you guys saying that there's some jittering here and there. We'll be restarting the stream after this match. In the meantime, Dake Blueby is putting the score in. That is 70-40. Thin Ice still in the lead. Tux takes a bump from Denji. Denji showcasing their seeking skills earned over the past few years. Cardi in possession of the Quaffle, looking to get another point on the board for their team. However, we are only 10 seconds away from match end. It doesn't look like Team PKS is going to get this, and that is the game. 70-40 by way of Thin Ice. Well done, Thin Ice, on that match win. I will be moving us on over to the versus board and doing a quick stream reset. I am sorry for some jittering here and there, but don't go away. We will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We have given the stream a restart. Hopefully that should make things a little easier. We are about to move into game 2 against Thin Ice and Team Pumpkin Snatch. This could be the end of Pumpkin Snatch's team if they don't turn this around. It could be a shutout, or it could be a transition into game 3. All I know is we are in for some exciting matches here. I've got us set up here with Thin Ice versus Team Pumpkin Snatch, home perspective, Groovy Games versus Alpha Tux. Oh, and it looks like it's a bloody hell. We have been knocked on out of that server, everyone. The stream is the same, up the bitrate or lower. Let me see if I can, everyone. One moment. on, give me 1 second. I'm going to do another quick reset of the stream as we wait to move back in. So don't go away.